Hi everyone, this is Jim Kelly, founder CEO 2 Seconds Logistics. And today, what I want to talk about is simple, very clear. I want to give you some of the hidden truths about running a logistics business in Nigeria. You could call it some of the challenges that come with running a logistics business in Nigeria. If you're about to start one, then you need to actually watch this video to the end to really understand what you're about to get into. But if you have one already and you can relate with some of the things I'm going to be talking about, do well to drop a comment below. Do well to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more. Now, like every other business, the logistics business is one that comes with a lot of challenges, that comes with a lot of struggles, a lot of headache, and all of that. But some of the most consistent ones that you're going to be dealing with when you are running in Nigeria, especially, the first one I want to talk about is bad roads. The nature of the roads will have doing regular maintenance of your vehicles every now and then. Wear and tear will be on the high. You're going to be fixing one thing or the other almost on daily or weekly basis. So this is something you need to be very much aware of, so that when you want to start and when you want to start projecting what your cost and expenses should be, you should have a budget for maintenance, because that's going to be happening more frequently than you even plan. So that is one of the challenges with running a logistics business in Nigeria. The second one is fuel scarcity or price fluctuations. You see, we live in an oil producing country, but for some reason there are several times where there's scarcity of fuel. Recently there was one a couple of weeks ago, and it was caused as a result of the filling stations going on strike, as a result of some policies with the NNPC that I'm not very sure of. But that strike lasted for well over 24 hours. So you can imagine, if you're not aware of things like this and then you launch, and then you start experiencing issues like this, it might take you off balance. So it's one of the things you need to be aware of. Fluctuation of prices also. Today you could hear that fuel is 900 naira, tomorrow you hear is 1,200 naira. And you know that your customers are very sensitive, especially price sensitive. So while trying to balance how you fluctuate your prices and all of that, you should make sure that you're not being too difficult to work with. So you should plan for that, for both scarcity and fluctuations. In my opinion, if you can have storage, just in case any of these come up when you don't expect it to come up. So this is another challenge and hidden truth about running a logistics business in Nigeria. Now, the third challenge that I want to talk about is poor weather. Rather, I would say rainy season. Now, it's very normal, it's very natural that when it's rainy season, your volume will reduce drastically, not because you're not doing very well, not because the orders are not coming in, but because your capacity is limited by the rains, right? Especially if you're doing a dispatch business, a dispatch bike business, where it's almost impossible to ride under heavy rain. So you have to factor for that. You have to bear in mind that during the rainy seasons it's not going to be as high as it is during the dry seasons. And the rain can also lead to delays in deliveries, because your riders can be on the road and then it starts raining. Of course, they are not going to continue those trips under the heavy rain. They are going to have to wait somewhere until the rain has reduced to a very minimal level before they can continue with those deliveries. So these are some of the challenges, these are some of the hidden facts about running a logistics company or a logistics business that you need to be aware of. Now, the fourth one I want to talk about is traffic. Now, every person that wants a delivery service wants it done almost immediately. You have customers that say, "Oh, I'm about to travel. In the next 10 minutes, I'm traveling. In the next 10 minutes, I'm stepping out of my home." And they don't factor in that traffic is actually real. Traffic could keep your dispatch riders on the road longer than planned. It could take extra minutes, it could take extra hours, depending on the level of the traffic. But that is one of the challenges that comes with running a logistics business. You will need to find a way to navigate it. When it cannot be helped, it has to be endured. one way or the other. But this is one of the challenges that comes with running a logistics business in Nigeria. Now, the fifth challenge, the fifth hidden truth or reality about running a logistics business in Nigeria is task force extortions. We have VIO, we have FRISC, we have several of them. We have even the police, and depending on the state that you're operating in, there are several other, smaller bodies that harass dispatch riders for one thing or the other, and it's usually in a bid to extort them. So you need to prepare for that. Those are things you don't plan for. Your dispatch riders are on the road, and you know that logistics delivery has a lot to do with time. A minute wasted is like an hour gone already, in the eyes of the customers that are expecting. So these are some of the things that are going to slow down your process, right? The task force people hold your riders on the road, and then they are demanding for certain payments or whatever it is, just basically trying to extort before they can release your riders to go carry on with the deliveries that they have already embarked on. So this is a big issue that you need to analyze and figure out a way to get it solved before you even get started. And if you have started already, you need to start factoring that in. You either find a way to solve those problems by identifying with all the necessary task force bodies and doing what you should do, or you have a budget to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of whenever need arises. Okay, so the sixth challenge that you need to be aware of when you want to start a delivery or logistics business is dishonest dispatch riders. I think this one has been experienced by almost every person that has ever run a dispatch business before, especially if you have run for a specific period of time, a good reasonable period of time. You must have experienced one or two or three, depending on what it is. But it's one of the challenges that you face. You have people telling you, oh, I'm on my way to go and make this delivery, whereas the person is just somewhere chilling and just sitting around and doing nothing actually. And then you have to struggle with what you're going to tell the customers when they call, and then you call this person, the person probably tells you there's traffic and there's really no traffic. There's cases where the person tells you, oh, I've actually delivered this item, and the customer is telling you, I have not received anything. So it leads to a lot of reputational damage. It's a very serious issue, it's a very serious challenge, and that is why I advise people that before you even engage a dispatch rider, you need to do your due diligence, and there are certain red flags you must look for. I think I have that video somewhere on my channel. You can go and check it out. Some of the red flags to look out for when you want to hire a dispatch rider. So you need to be aware of this. Before I move to the seventh one and the subsequent ones, I think I'm going to be giving 10. I'd like for you to, at this point, subscribe to the channel if you've gotten value so far. Share, like, comment, do all of that, so that I know that robots are not watching. They are real human beings that are watching. So like, comment, and say what has stood out for you so far in the course of this video. Don't forget to subscribe also. Now let's move to the seventh challenge, or the seventh hidden truth about running a logistics business in Nigeria. The seventh one is security problems, or rather I'll say insecurity generally in the country. So it's so bad to the extent, almost nowhere is safe really. So you could have instances where your dispatch riders are out and they are prone to being robbed, they are prone to being attacked, kidnapped, and all those stuff. We've had issues where instances where a dispatch rider will call in and say, oh, they escaped social situation in social place. They were nearly going to get killed, they were nearly going to get robbed, they were nearly going to get kidnapped, and all of that. So this is a very, very serious issue. Unfortunately, the security state of the country is not at the optimum level. So this is one of the issues that we have to navigate. It's one of the hidden truths nobody might tell you before you get in, but you need to watch out for that and make proactive plans to curb it to the barest minimum. Now, the eighth challenge or hidden truth about running a logistics business in Nigeria is debts and wastage. A lot of people are going to owe you. People are going to owe you a whole lot. People are going to have deliveries done for them on credit, especially your most frequent customers. They're like, oh, you have our stuff with you now. You have our products with you now. They're like, I've been working with you for a long time. Get this delivery done. I'll pay you later. And so many things like that. Um, those debts over time start piling up. And if you're not careful, if you've not built your capital strong enough, it can drown your business. You need to watch out for it. Wastage in the essence that, okay, there's an instance we had, not at some point, we've had these instances so many times where somebody calls for a pickup service and says, oh, I need you to come and pick up from so address and then deliver to this other address. And then they tell you, okay, we're going to make payment on delivery. And then you send your dispatch rider to go for that delivery. And the dispatch rider gets there and they're like, you know what, the person that was supposed to receive the item has changed his mind. Sorry, it's not our fault. You have to go back. In fact, we had a case where somebody said, oh, I called you people, and I called several other people, and it's the first person that got to me that I've given the item to. So in that case, the resources that were expended to get to that person's location become waste. So these are things that you need to be aware of in order to make solid plans that protect you from these issues. So you must be ready to know that there are people that are just going to owe you. There are people that are also going to waste your resources for no reason. So you need to put systems in place to curb some of these issues if you want to start or scale your logistics business. Now, the number nine challenge or hidden truth about running a logistics business is turnover. Turnover in terms of your dispatch riders, in terms of the operations team, and all of that. It's high, So when you have a case where people have to move on, in life, people have to get from one thing to the other. So there are going to be times where it's going to be very difficult to maintain a specific workforce. So you need to have that in mind. You need to prepare for it. You need to have contingency plans. You need to have systems and structure in place to take care of issues like that, so that at every point in time the system is running and running effectively. So this is one of the major challenges that comes with naturally running a logistics business. You need to be aware of it. You need to take care of it before you even start or before you think of even scaling. Now, last but not the least, in fact, this cannot even be the least. This is probably the number one. It should have come first. Running a logistics business is, well, before I even say what this one is, if you can guess, you can write what you think it is in the comments. Before then, I want to introduce a session that I'm going to be having. A date has not been selected yet, a masterclass. Date has not been selected, but you can key in early enough to get 20% discount. The details are going to be on the screen. If you want to register, feel free to contact the number you see also on the flyer or on the screen to register your interest and save yourself 20% of what the actual fees could be, because when the date is announced, then the full fees will be in effect. Apart from that, you can register for a one-on-one consultancy session, either an hour or 2 hours, depending on what you think you would need with myself, right? Now, straight into what the final point, the final challenge or tough reality of running a logistics business in Nigeria is. All logistics or all delivery customers are very, very impatient. So it almost looks like there are different breeds of people and different breeds of customers, and they now pack all the ones that are impatient and then throw them into the logistics space. Because everybody, like I said earlier, wants their products delivered to them immediately. So when you're dealing with tens, hundreds, thousands of customers that all want their products to be delivered to them at the same time, a lot of them are going to send in abusive words. Oh, you guys are too slow. Oh, you guys are this and that and this and that. So these are some of the things. This is one of the things that you need to bear in mind before starting. You need to prepare for it. You need to figure a way out of it, how to take care of it when it arises, so it doesn't surprise you when it comes up. Logistics customers are very impatient. You must have a way to manage them effectively, manage them properly to ensure that you're getting you're getting customer satisfaction out of them, and you're not killing the reputation or reliability or perception of your already established business. So these are 10 challenges or hard realities about building or running a logistics business in Nigeria. You need to be aware of all of them, and you need to make plans in order to reduce the impacts that each of those can make in your business. Until the next video, until the next time, feel free to go through my channel and watch other videos I've done based on the logistics industry, logistics business, and all of that. Equip yourself with a lot of information and knowledge that you require to set you up for success. Thank you and bye.